ladies, I hope everyone is doing well. Today, as we're coming out of those, the dark, the gloomy, the cold winter months, I want to take some time and talk to you guys about the power of vitamin D and how it could be affecting your balance journey. So there's a real connection between your vitamin D levels and how you're feeling and how well you're doing on your balance journey. And I want to dive in with a two-part series because it's just way too much to put into one video. So today, first and foremost, I want to talk to you guys about what vitamin D actually does for your body and what your levels should be. So then in the meantime, you guys can maybe dive into your blood work, find out what your most recent levels might be, and next week we're going to talk about what you can do to improve them. Okay, so let's dive into what vitamin D actually does for your body, because we all have an idea and we think it's this like one concept, and don't get me wrong, it is part of it, but there's so much more that goes into it. So first and foremost is our bone health, right? So vitamin D is essential for calcium absorption in the gut. So it's crucial for maintaining healthy, strong bones, for preventing osteoporosis as we age, and especially after menopause. So that's mainstream information when it comes to vitamin D, right? We want to take in enough vitamin D to build strong bones when we're younger, but then to also prevent any bone loss as we get older, okay? But again, there's so much more that goes into it. So vitamin D also plays a critical component in regulating your hormones, so your hormone balance. There's links to proper functioning of your thyroid as well as your reproductive hormones, so your sex hormones, your estrogen, your testosterone. So it can impact your overall reproductive health as well as your menstrual cycles, which we all know can also affect our sugar levels and our weight loss and so many more things. So vitamin D is crucial in supporting that hormone balance. It's also super important to control inflammation and support the modulation of your immune system. So we've all kind of heard getting sick chronically when you're not getting enough vitamins and things like that. But vitamin D also helps support balancing the immune system. So an overactive immune system, which in essence is an autoimmune disease, which is most common in women, okay, and partially genetic. So vitamin D plays a crucial role in controlling inflammation, in supporting your immune system, but also modulating your immune system so that it's not overactive and essentially you're attacking our bodies in ways that we don't want it to. Next one is mood and mental health, okay? So there is a huge correlation between your vitamin D levels and how sad or blue you might be feeling. So that's another one you might have heard, not enough vitamin D, not enough sunlight. Those winter months, they really affect our cognitive behavior. There's also new connections with vitamin D regulating blood pressure and reducing the risk for cardiovascular disease. So cardiovascular disease is a big problem in our country. It's not going anywhere soon. Genetics do play a component as well, and low vitamin D levels could be contributing to that. And most major last one, muscle and nerve function. So we're working out, we're trying to get strong, right? We need adequate vitamin D to support muscle strength, to support our coordination and proper nerve signaling between our muscles and things like that. Okay, so it's not just your bone health. There are so many other things that you could be experiencing. And some symptoms that you might be experiencing could be tiredness, fatigue, chronic illness, like getting tired or getting sick all the time, or chronic infections like upper respiratory infections all the time, and you can't kick it, they just keep coming back. Muscle pain and weakness, so feeling like these 5-pound weights just feel way heavier than they used to. That could be a sign. Hair loss and depression, like we talked about. So hair loss coming from possible not enough vitamin D to support your thyroid hormones. Okay, so there's a lot of different symptoms. Those are just a couple of them. And by no means, if you're experiencing these symptoms, does that absolutely mean you have low vitamin D, but there can be a correlation between these symptoms and your vitamin D levels. Okay, so next, let's talk about what are normal versus optimal levels. So first I'm going to talk about the normal and the ranges that you're going to see in your LabCorp or your Quest labs. So according to these, what is normal? So that means like about 75% of the population is experiencing this. Okay, so a serum hydroxyvitamin D level of below 12 nanograms per milliliter is going to be a severe deficiency. So if you are under 12, that's where, like way back when, we've heard about rickets. It's not really a thing anymore because we do get enough vitamin D, but you're at risk for some very serious issues if your levels are under 12. A just flat out deficiency is going to be between 12 and 20. Some will say actually 30. So at under 30, I would consider a deficiency. Like, we really need to tackle this. Those numbers are way too low. This is first and foremost. Let's get on top of that. So anything technically 30 to 100 is going to be your normal, healthy average. That's where the doctor's going to say, yeah, your numbers look fine. Like if you got a 32, they're going to say, okay, check. Yeah, no, your vitamin D is totally fine. Okay, that's what we would consider sufficient. Vitamin D toxicity, it is possible to take in too much vitamin D and create a toxic level in your body. That would be greater than 150 nanograms per liter, okay? It is pretty difficult to reach a toxic level in the body. You'd have to be supplementing with very high therapeutic amounts for like long periods of time for this to really be an issue. But don't get me wrong, it's something you want to monitor. Of course, we don't want them too low, but of course, we never want them too high as well. Okay, so like I explained, these are the levels that are considered normal. So 30 to 100, they're going to just say is normal for a person. But what's optimal? And that's what I strive for in my life. That's what I strive for with my clients. We don't just want to be normal. If normal means experiencing symptoms and fatigue and some depression and all those things because our vitamin Ds are low, but they're normal. So that's not cool with me. I want to experience optimal. I want to live my best life. So what is optimal? Optimal, there's more and more research finding that somewhere between 50 and 80, not necessarily that 80 is any better than 50, but keeping your levels between 50 and 80 is really going to be the most optimal level of your vitamin D to support your bones, to modulate your immune system, keep you from getting sick, keep those hormones supported and in check, those muscles strong, etc., etc. Okay, so what I want you guys to do this week, I'm praying that you have recently, within the last year at least, had some blood work done. Typically, your physician will run this. Some will not, which is unfortunate, okay? But in your physical, you should find your vitamin D hydroxy levels, okay? So we want to find those in your blood work and see what they are and correlate and tune into your body this week. Am I having any of these symptoms? Am I feeling weak? Am I a little extra tired lately? Is my hairbrush full of my hair? Like, and again, don't get me wrong. I don't want you to go super crazy with thinking that all of these symptoms could be directly correlated with your vitamin D. They could also absolutely be other things. So that's why we test, right? Okay. So if you haven't had your vitamin D levels checked in a long time, I highly, highly recommend go to your PCP, say you want overall blood work, you want your vitamin D levels checked, okay? And again, they're likely going to tell you that if it's normal, it's okay, it's fine, but we're shooting for optimal here, somewhere between 50 and 80. And next week, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna dive into all of the lifestyle and the nutrition and the supplementation routes that you can take to help support your vitamin D levels and get them in that optimal range so that you are feeling great. Okay? All right, guys, if you have any questions or if you're having trouble finding your vitamin D, I'm going to post my levels this week so you know what you're looking for. Just reach out and don't hesitate to ask any questions. I'm here to help. Have a good week. Bye.